Good morning. Today is Sunday, December 22nd, and I'm about to administer my 44th injection of Zepbound. So that's the last injection of box 11, and it's pretty exciting. It kind of feels like a milestone. I started off the first 4 weeks at 2.5 milligrams, and the rest of the time I've been on 5 milligrams. I haven't had any side effects or anything like that. It's been a smooth journey thus far. For the entire time, I've just alternated between the left and the right side of my stomach area, and it's just a comfortability thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Last week I did the right side, so this week I'll be doing the left side. One moment. So here we go. Now I pretty much I'm a creature of habit. I stick to the same format and it just makes it easier for me. So the pins come locked. I've got my alcohol prep pad. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe the area. Put the pen next to my skin. Then I unlock it. You're gonna hear a series of 2 clicks. One letting you know the medication is going in, the second letting you know it's done. I'm gonna wait a few seconds and that'll be it. There's that second click. And just like that, injection number 44 is over. I check to see if there's a little blood. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. Today's one of those days where it isn't. All right, so let's get into the update. Hello, my name is Taisha. I have been on Zepbound for 44 weeks, and I've lost a total of 56 pounds, with 50 of those pounds coming off in the first 26 weeks. I also want to stress to you, even though I'm giving you the weights, because that is exactly what I wanted to hear when I was first starting off. I wanted to know how much weight people lost and things like that. So that's why I'm telling you that, just so you'll know. But it is very easy to get caught up in that number on the scale. I had a DEXA scan performed January 26th of this year, and I started my Zepbound journey, I think February 21st. So from that time until March, mid-March, I lost a total of 14 pounds of muscle, and I don't recommend that. But if I had just been focused on the number on the scale and not using other factors, I wouldn't have realized that, girl, you're losing muscle. That is not the goal. So once I learned that, I had to revamp the way that I was doing things. I had to get in the mindset that tracking calories is not this super restrictive thing. It's necessary to know exactly what you're putting into your body. I was anti-calorie counting and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be able to eat intuitively and things like that. I had to get real with myself and recognize that hasn't worked for me in the past. And I know there are people that, they find tracking to be this extremely stressful, restrictive thing, but it doesn't have to be that way. When I started off, I was weighing everything in grams. I wasn't keeping track of them in an app or anything like that. I was just trying to get an idea of what I was consuming. So when I got those results, then I knew, okay, I have to take this a step further. I was taking pictures of every single thing that I ate and I was weighing everything. So once I started entering that in, I knew, okay, we've got to do a little bit better. I wasn't focusing on protein and I was getting plenty of fiber and things like that in. I eat a whole food plant-based diet, and that is just my personal preference. I was already a vegan. I became a vegan in December of 2020. I wasn't what you would call a healthy vegan. So I do consider myself to be that now. I eat a whole food plant-based diet and I prioritize protein and fiber. I am not sensitive to carbs or anything like that, so I don't restrict them at all. But I do focus on trying to get in enough protein and fiber. I also drink a gallon of water a day. I feel like the combination of these things is probably why I haven't had any issue with constipation or anything like that. So I'd recommend it. Even if you don't want to completely switch over to that, maybe try it out or incorporate more whole foods, because it definitely won't hurt you. I am currently on maintenance. I eat about 1,800 calories a day. I shoot for that. So if I go over a little bit, that doesn't bother me, but I'm really trying hard to not be under 1,800 calories. because I am trying to build muscle, and that's something that is really important to me. Maintaining, not losing anymore, but I do want to build some more. So that's where I am on that part of my journey. Due to a recent DEXA scan, I lost more fat, but I also lost a little bit more muscle. And that is why I decided to add creatine to the mix. So on December 12th, I started taking creatine, and I've been taking 5 grams a day. What I do is I take 4 ounces of orange juice, I put the scoop of creatine in, mix it up, and then I drink it. I haven't had any side effects or anything. I'm gonna have another DEXA scan done towards the end of January, and then I'll be able to see if this change has helped or not. And I think that it will, I'm confident, but again, it's too early for me to tell you anything at this point. Strength training has been a huge part of my journey. So I've been off for 44 weeks. 42 of those weeks, I have been consistently strength training, and I only missed one day, and that was the day of the eclipse, and I just didn't feel like it. And I jumped right back into it the next day. In the past, that would have been enough to derail me. And when I pushed through the next day, I was like, oh my gosh, I got this. And so it just made me want to continue to be consistent. And for me, that has been a huge thing, consistency. And I'll tell you that all day. You could go hard for a week and then not do anything for a couple of weeks, or you can take your time and build up and make it to where it's a sustainable thing. Tomorrow, I'm starting week 6 of Lift with C's program called The Compound. So this entire time, out of the 44 weeks, I have been consistently strength training for 42 of those weeks, and that has been transformative. There are 2 weeks left in this program, and I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna go to next. I do love The Compound. I may do it again. I may find something else to do for a couple of weeks and then jump back into it, but I'm not quite sure yet. I've got a little bit of time, but once I figure it out, I'll let you guys know. My goal is just to continue pushing on. I am in maintenance, but maintenance for me basically looks like what I did to lose weight, but I've increased my calories. So I went from eating 1,500 calories to now eating 1,800. If I have the next DEXA scan done with the addition of creatine and realize that I've lost more muscle, then I'm gonna have to do something different. And different for me doesn't look like modifying the dose. It looks like I'll just need to eat more calories. But I don't wanna get too ahead of myself. By the end of January, I'll have a better picture, because these things take time. I know that we are in a microwave society and we want things to happen right away, but the truth of it is it just doesn't work like that. And you can lose the weight super quickly, but what are you gonna do? Start thinking, what's maintenance gonna look like for you? The things that I'm doing right now, am I gonna be able to continue to do these? Am I gonna wanna continue to do these things when I get to my goal weight? There are a lot of you that are on this medication that wanna get off of it. So you want to get these habits established now and not wait until you get to the point where you're at your weight and you're not on the medication anymore, and having that there to quiet the noise and slow things down. So that's just my opinion. And I know a lot of us have them. I just want to see everybody be successful on this, because I do believe that this medication is life-changing. It has been so impactful. I created an Instagram account for the sole purpose of keeping track of all of my meals and my workouts. If you go to my Instagram account and you go to Reels, you will see 42 weeks of consistent workouts. I missed the first day because I didn't have an Instagram account. I created it the next day, but 42 weeks of sped up versions of the workouts. Now, initially, I was just posting little clips, and then I got to where I was like, well, I'm just gonna post a sped up version of the workouts. So they're there. You'll see months and months of meals. I initially started by taking a picture of each meal, and then I changed to do a little collage at the end of the day. So I've been doing that on the community tab, but it doesn't go back as far as my Instagram does. So if you're interested in that, feel free to check it out. I also post screenshots of the calories for the day, as well as the macronutrients. The whole picture is there. And the only reason I started doing that was because I was asked on a regular basis, how many calories are you eating? How much protein do you get? Because I believe people are still under the impression that you can't get enough protein in on a whole food plant-based diet. And my goal is to show you that you can. So if that has been something that was hindering you from trying, I just want you to know maybe it's worth a shot. Quick question for you. Do you prefer working out at home or in a gym? I love the ability to work out from the comfort of my own home. So it doesn't matter what's going on outside. It doesn't matter if it's snowing, raining, nothing. There is nothing that I can use as an excuse to interfere with me doing my workouts. It's a lot easier for me too because I'm retired, so I'm home during the day. My children are older. The youngest one will be 16 in March, so I have a lot of time to do these things for myself. So I recognize that everybody, we all have 24 hours in a day, but it's structured differently depending on what you're doing. So this is why this works for me. And you've got to find a system that works for you. If you can only fit in 5 minutes here and there, that is better than nothing. And I don't want you guys to underestimate the power of walking, doing stretches, doing yoga, whatever form of movement you feel that you could keep up with and you find enjoyable, that's what you should do. If you are anti-strength training, I wouldn't recommend it. Because if you set yourself up to do these things that you know that you absolutely hate, it is going to be nearly impossible. And I'm not saying impossible, but nearly impossible to keep going. And just think about previous versions of yourself. Do you have a history of maybe trying to take on too much initially and then you get overwhelmed and you stop completely? Or are you someone who, you can do a whole bunch of stuff and keep it up for a good amount of time? And if so, I also want to challenge you to think about that, because when you get to maintenance, you've got to continue. If you want to maintain your results, you've got to continue to do the things that you did to get there. And the only thing that would probably change is maybe the amount of food you're eating. Some things that people struggle with, getting enough calories in, because this medication, at least for me, has taken my desire to eat away. So I have to make sure and be mindful that, okay, girl, it's time to eat, and make sure that I'm getting these meals in. And it's not about forcing myself. It doesn't feel like that. It's just, I don't have the desire to eat, but when I make my food, I'm able to eat it just fine. So eating things that I enjoy also makes it easier. I don't feel like I'm eating in a restrictive way. Counting calories helps me make sure that I'm getting enough food in, which is equally as important. You have to make sure you're eating enough. Those are just a few tips. Find something that you enjoy. Find a form of movement that you enjoy. Make sure you're getting enough water. I drink 1 gallon of water a day, but I don't drink anything else. So that's what works for me. Outside of the recent addition of the 4 ounces of orange juice for the creatine, I just drink water. And I'm not anti-drinking anything else. I just haven't had a desire to, so it's working for me. If you haven't had a chance to check out one of my live streams, I would encourage you to definitely show up tomorrow. Tomorrow's topic for week 6 is going to be how to stay consistent and stop comparing yourself. And I know that is something that a lot of us struggle with, and we are going to work through that tomorrow. So if you can come, that would be great. If not, check out the replay. By the end of the session, you'll be able to walk away with tools to reframe your mindset, practical tips for staying consistent, and strategies to overcome comparison traps. Out of all of the weeks, I am most excited about tomorrow's live stream. So if you can join, that would be great. If not, catch the replay. I want to leave you with another reminder that we can share our journeys, but we should never compare them. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Remember, we can share our journeys, but we should never compare them. Your progress is your own, and every step forward matters. If you made it to the end of this video, comment below with the word resilience, and leave me any comments or questions that you have regarding strength training, anything that I missed covering. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. That's what makes this special, the interaction. So on that note, have a wonderful day, and you'll see me tomorrow. Bye.